I'm so excited about talking to you guys about this topic today. This is dear at heart. As a firearm instructor, um, I definitely come across some people out there who have expressed that they've either taken like a concealed carry class but not actually handled a firearm yet, or maybe they did a concealed carry class and that was the last time that they touched a gun, and it's now been 2, 3, 5 years even, and they've not even touched a gun since then. So, as a firearm instructor, I thought only my job to encourage you guys out there to do a little range practice regularly. So, as I have this platform here, I'm Mrs. Trouble, and I'm here to help you guys check in. Please check in with me. Let me know where you are checking in from. And I'm just so excited to sit here and talk to you guys today because last week I missed it. I was a little under the weather, had no voice whatsoever to be able to speak to you guys with. So I'm happy that I'm feeling better and I'm back on track with our little check-ins. And today, this topic is about when was the last time you have gone to the range? So go ahead and tell me in the chat box area, when was the last time you went to the range? Please, because I'm really curious. Are you one of those people out there who hasn't gone for months on end or years on end? And if you haven't, I'm challenging you to go to the range soon. ASAP, for sure. Because at the end of the day, being a firearm owner comes with great responsibility, as you already know, and a part of the task is for you to be familiar with the safety and handling of it. And if you're not equipped with it, then maybe firearm ownership may not be the thing you should have, because when it comes to this really dangerous tool, I mean, obviously some things can go wrong with it, but I'm here to help you prevent having those things go wrong. So for starters, basically just it's one of those things. I'm here to encourage you because you have to get regular practice. If you don't get regular practice, then in a time of an emergency, you might freeze up. And that's the last thing you want to happen, given though, you need to save your life or the life of your loved ones. So I don't want you guys to have a moment where you need to use the gun and you freeze up. That's like the worst thing that could possibly happen. So how we prevent that is getting regular practice. I can't stress enough how important it is to get to the range regularly. So as I thought about this, I thought about the things that may actually impact your decision making when it comes to this. So why is regular range time? Why does it matter? I mean, really, the point is, building your confidence, number one. And of course, building your skill is also important as well, because you have to really understand that, in a moment of need, you're gonna be in a motion of panic, and you're gonna need to have quick reaction. So building good muscle memory for your ability to use this firearm is going to be key, because that's the last thing you want to be doing is stumbling over the use and the function of your firearm while you're in this emergency situation. So as you guys are joining, I'd love to find out where you're checking in from. Let me know. Hey, I'm checking in from Georgia. I'm checking in from Washington State. Let me know. I want to know who I'm speaking to. Even if you're, checking in from another country, thank you so much for checking us out. I'm really interested to see, who am I out here speaking to? Who am I helping? Because really, I'm doing this for you guys to make sure you're equipped with what you need to know. Hey, 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 thank you so much for putting it in the chat box area. Now, when it comes to reinforcing firearm safety handling, I can't stress that enough. When you're going to the range, not only are you getting confidence with your ability of your skills, but you also are practicing regular safety practices and handling things safely when it comes to firearms. Guns are very unforgiving, as I've always said to you guys. And so we got to make sure we're handling them right from the beginning. And a part of that is you getting some good safety handling practices. So hopefully when you're going to the range, that's a part of it. That you're keeping your finger off the trigger until you're actually ready to shoot, and that you're facing the muzzle in a safe direction all the times. Anytime you're handling a firearm, this is the way you should be handling it. So, um, I have something on my third check. Okay. Well, when it comes to that, one of those things. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining in from New York. Thank you so much. When it comes to you want to get that good practice with accuracy. Of course, we all want to be sharpshooters out there, making sure that we're accurate with all of our shots. I'm here to tell you that shooting is actually a skill that's perishable. So you have to make sure that you continue to get practice, because if not, you'll lose it. You think you're a great shot right now, but let 6 months go by, let a year go by, and you not touch a gun. You're not going to be as great as you once were. So even the greatest shooters out there have to practice regularly in order for them to keep up those skills. So I encourage you guys to continue to go so you can get that regular, feeling, the familiarity with the ability of your accuracy as well as your confidence. So when it comes to that recoil, management, also that's another key, because sometimes we just, slightly remember something. Memory is very subjective. And so what that means is your brain can play tricks on you. You can remember the recoil feeling a certain way, but then when it's actually come down to it, then the recoil is much greater than what you maybe had remembered in the past. So this is another reason why you want to go to the range regularly, because that recoil, you want to keep that familiar of what that feels like, because you don't want to have that shock overcome or overtake you with fear as you're needing to use your firearm in a self-defense situation. So again, that confidence and that skill goes hand in hand, and the only way we're going to get there and and be great with it is just having consistent range practice. So when it comes to some of the common excuses I've heard from many students, is really, time constraints. When it comes to going to the range has their available hours of operation. And of course, we live a busy life, right? We go to work day in and day out. We have kids, we have spouses, we have businesses, things like that we're doing. And when it comes to all of the busyness of our life, sometimes that just gets in the way. And it's one of those things where I want you guys to be mindful that you have to make this somewhat of an importance to you so that you can have a good commitment of going to the range regularly. Okay. So another thing that people talk about is the cost concerns, of course. When it comes to shooting, it is not a cheap sport. Not at all. Not a cheap hobby at all. So when it comes to that, I want you guys to remember that you're going to have to figure out a good time. You're going to have to figure out a consistent time, of course, and budget for those range visits, okay? So ideally, if you're going to the range, once a month, that's a great timing to go. If you're going twice a month, obviously I would love you to go twice a month, but at least once a month is really a good goal for you to have consistent practice. Now, each range out there, they definitely do have different memberships that might be able to help you with some of this cost. It may be a lot up front, but then it will save you on the back end. So you might want to look into those memberships at your local range. Thanks so much, Global Gog, for joining. So when it comes to, thank you so much for joining again. I really appreciate it. And when it comes to ammunition, I do have some recommendations. I do like to buy ammunition as a bulk, somewhere around 200 rounds for a 9 mil on average, maybe 250 rounds. Usually it's like $60 for that. And it kind of saves, because on a normal basis, you might spend like 50 rounds. You might spend $20 to $30 for one box of 50 rounds. So buying it in bulk is going to be great. As far as brands, I normally stick to like Winchester. I mean, even Blazer. Blazer is great. I don't have a problem with that. When it comes to those brands, I tend to like those a lot. For my 22 caliber, I typically stick to CCI as much as possible. Just because the Glock that I use for the 22 caliber, it's a little picky. So it doesn't like all ammunition. I did just recently come across, what is it called? Monarch. It looks like a little lion, almost looks like a Porsche symbol. Okay. But that ammunition also has been doing me well as well for the 9mm and for the 22 long rifle round. And it's inexpensive. It's a great buy. I've been buying it in bulk, like 250 rounds for $65 or $60, something like that. And then for the 9 mil, and I've also been spending about maybe 30 to 35 bucks for 500 rounds of the long rifle round, and Monarch is the brand. So I like it. It's been working great for my guns. You need to figure out for your gun though what works, because some guns could be a little bit picky. That's one thing I have found out recently. Like, some of these guns are kind of particular about what type of ammo they like. You have to take a look at the amount of grains that you're using, and then certain brands. So when it comes to that, and in the 22, I also learned that some of the guns like a little bit of oil on the rounds. So that's why CCI has been really great, and this Monarch brand also has been pretty great as well. All right, so it's $25 for 50 rounds in Maryland. Okay, so yeah, I'm in the DMV area as well. And yeah, it's somewhere between $20 to maybe $30 for a box of 50 rounds for a 9 mil for me. That's what I've been coming across. The further I go south in Virginia, the closer I get to that $20, maybe $17 a box of 50 rounds at the store. But going further north, like closer to DC area, then the prices get closer to $30 a box. So just depends on where you're shopping at. But definitely I like to go to the sports goods stores to get that ammo. You can even purchase it online and get it shipped to you. I don't think you can do that in DC, but in Maryland you should be able to get it shipped to your home. So definitely check out some bulk prices. Okay. Now when it comes to feeling intimidated and unmotivated, I've always come across particularly women that tend to voice this to me, that they're not motivated and they're actually intimidated by firearms. So that's one of the reasons why they have a hesitation of even going to the range. Or they may be intimidated by the staff there or the other shooters that's going to be there, because they may not perform as well as they think. I'm here to encourage you to just get out there and try it. You never know what happens. You might find somebody that you partner up with and say, hey, look, this is my range shooting buddy. And that's one of those things that I encourage you to do too. Find a group that will go to the range with you. Get a friend that goes, or doesn't mind going with you and trying it. Because it's one of those things, sometimes we just need a little camaraderie to help us going and keep going. So I find that doing things in group settings a lot of times does help. I do a lot of coordination for groups of 2 and 4 and 6 and 8 people at a time going to the range. Just a group of buddies that just want to go out and have a good time, get some practice. And maybe that's you. Maybe you can encourage a family member or a friend to go with you, so you won't feel so alone the first couple of times of going. And then after that, you probably feel okay but going by yourself. But at first, you might need a shooting buddy. Now, you also need to find a regular schedule that works for you. I mean, be consistent. If weekdays, midday works for you, because maybe you can go on a lunch break from work or something, try that and see how that works for you. Or maybe it's Sunday after you go to church. You never know what, your life allows you to do, that you can fit this in here at least once a month. Okay, bare minimum once a month. Get that practice in as much as possible. Now if you're new to this, you might baby step it and say, hey, I'll go once every 3 months. Sure, but after a while you need to be getting a little bit more regular than that. Now when it comes to that whole you know you go to the range and you shoot, sure, but what is your purpose? So be focused on what's your purpose and what's your goals while you are at the range shooting. So look up different drills. I do have some videos out here talking about different drills to be able to do while you're at the range. So you're not just in there just shooting and not getting anything accomplished really. The goal is for you to make certain goals when you're going to the range. If you say I'm going there to work on the recoil, being able to handle that, or if I'm going there to work on the my sight picture, making sure I keep my eye focused on my sights. If you're working on your trigger control, making sure that you're squeezing the trigger, not jerking the trigger. Those are different things that are personal goals that you should be working on every time you go to the range, and really be focused on it. I mean, I tell you, shooting for me is a therapy. Is anybody else out there that feels the same way as me? I'm really curious, because shooting is a therapy for me. My life is like, everywhere else, every other day. But when I go to the range, I'm like literally laser focused on what my goals are. and it makes me forget about all the other craziness that's in my life, okay? And I'm just literally focused on my skill and bettering my accuracy, or bettering whatever skill my goal is that day. So maybe you guys have that same experience. I'm really curious because this therapy really works for me. I don't know about you guys, but it would definitely work for me. Someone said I need therapy after I spend. Okay, looks like I'm back. Can you guys hear and see me okay? I'm not exactly sure what just happened here, but it just kind of went blank on my end. Um, can you give me a thumbs up, or yes, you can hear me, or something in the chat box area to let me know? Because it literally went frozen for a minute on my end here. All right, so James, I'm with you on that. The whole money part, it does get expensive and pricey. You know, it's one of those things where it's a little commitment. It's something that once you've purchased that gun, you have to make that goal to say, hey, I got to spend this amount of money at least to get to that range often enough. So, you know, just thinking about the prices on my end, going to the range, is normally like $30 for the range fee. About another $30 for a box of 50 rounds of 9 mil. And then you have the iron ear protection and target, which, you know, in a lot of cases you may already have iron ear protection, which is great. But if you don't, they usually have it at the range. So ideally you might spend bare minimum somewhere between 60 and 80 bucks to go to the range. But try to make that like a regular thing, you know, that you're doing. And so it probably won't be as much for you when you're used to doing it. And it becomes a regular thing for you. And I just encourage you guys to just keep doing that and get those drills done every time you're going to the range. Be focused and enjoy your therapy. I mean, honestly, just enjoy being there, you know, spending time to yourself or spending time with a buddy, and you know, you guys get some regular practice. So go ahead and tell me in the chat box area, when was the last time you went to the range? I am really curious to know, because I mean, you guys come here regularly to speak to me. I'm hoping I'm encouraging you guys to go to the range regularly. So let me know in the chat box area, when was the last time you went to the range? Now, as I'm leaving you guys here from this little check-in here, I want you guys to be aware that I'm doing my best to get some more edits out there for you guys. So I have some more interviews coming. Had a little delay, you know, CapCut shut down for a little while, and now it's back. So I'm able to get some of those contents finished that I had started on. And then also when it came to me not feeling so well, so it took me some time to get myself together so I can get back to these edits for you guys. But I do have some more videos coming soon, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday, Valentine's Day. I don't know if you guys celebrate or not, but I'll be here with you guys to celebrate at 8 p.m. on Friday. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for checking in, and I'll see you guys next time.